Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 3 of Knitting in the Northwest. My name is Nancy. I will have down below in the description box all the places you can reach out to me. Instagram, Ravelry. I am a Ravelry user now for 2025. Who would have thought? Email. I think that's it. Just the 3 places that you can reach me at. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I don't do show notes. I will put in the description box the patterns that I am showing you and the designers. So if you have any questions or can't understand, and I know that YouTube does transcripts, and sometimes what it thinks I'm saying is truly not what I'm saying. And that'll be down below. But yeah, reach out if you have any questions. Today is Friday, April 25th. I am recording, it's early afternoon. I usually try to get this done early afternoon. And it's a gorgeous sunny day here in the Pacific Northwest. I think this might be second spring. I kind of lost count. I know we're supposed to get rain next week, which we need. It is so bloody dry here. We live in a little valley. I live in Spokane, Washington. It's a little valley. There's mountains all around us. There's still snow in the mountains. We have a main river that runs through town, and it is really high. Lots of times it floods over the banks. I don't know if it's going to do it this year. We don't have that much snow left in the mountains, but it's really, really dry here. And as most of you know, fire season will be here before we know it. Yeah, so anyway, hi, hello. Welcome back. This is episode 3. I'm not sure if I mentioned that or not. I've been rambling and not quite sure what I said. Today will probably be a shorter than normal podcast. I don't have a lot of current whips, works in progresses that I'm actively working on. But guys, hold on to your seat. I have 8 finished objects. Now, granted, 2 of them are, or no, not 2 of them are large. That would leave 6 that are fairly small. So I'll show you about those. I doubt if we'll get the cat cameo running up and down the hall. There's one cat I can see out my office window. I have a nice large covered deck, and I have a cat tree out there, and I can see one cat laying in the top of the cat tree. And I do have the slider open from the dining room to the deck. The other cat might be outside. She may make an appearance. I don't know. We'll see. Yet to be determined. Yeah. So anyway, let's get on to the show. I have, like I said, I have 8 finished objects, which leads me to what I am wearing. I am wearing the Orli poncho, and this is a free pattern on the Expressions fiber. Oh my gosh, I have to check my notes. It's a free pattern from Expression Fiber Arts website. And I'm going to stand up and show it to you, and I'm going to tell you about the modifications. I'm going to slide back. Hopefully you'll still hear me. So this is the poncho. There's my back side. Oh, and underneath I am wearing the poppy tee. This is by Joe Cottle. This was a finished object a couple of months ago. No, a month ago maybe. And this was done out of bamboo pop in just a white color. But yeah, the Orli poncho. Now I did this out of Trilogy yarns. They're Silky Yak DK, which if you've not worked with this base, It's luscious. When I was at the Dyer of Trilogy Yarns, I think this was my favorite base. I've got sweaters out of it. I have cardigans out of it. Two ponchos out of it, this being my second. Uh, the yak is such a gorgeous warm fiber. The silk gives it the sheen. So yeah, and this was in the color raspberry. Now I know raspberry is not a current um, selection on the Trilogy Yarn website. This was one I dyed up before I sold the business. But if there's enough demand, I'm sure that Carrie will make it available. So the pattern is done in two rectangles. You can kind of see here where I've sewn it together. So it's two rectangles. You sew them end of one to the end of the other on the back side. I don't know what you're seeing, so I don't know if you can see that or not. And then the pattern had you pick up and knit a collar around the neck. And I did that. And I didn't like it. I believe that the yarn that the designer used was a much lighter fiber. This is a fairly hefty fiber. It's got some weight to it, but it's so drapey. You don't know about the weight. But because the neckline is as big as it is, and I suppose I could take it out and stretch the panel more. I suppose I could. I'm not going to. But the collar was just, it hung down real low. And so I actually tried it on before I podcast, and I didn't like it. So this is what I did. Here's the collar. I just ripped it off. I just decided I didn't like the collar. And A, because it was so heavy, and B, depending on what kind of a garment that I have on underneath, if I were to wear like a button-up shirt, I'd have like collar on collar, and I just didn't think it looked good. So I did not put the collar on, but you could. So anyway, finish this. Absolutely love it. So that is project number 1. Project number 2 is I finished my Salty Air DK sweater. So this is done. Last time I podcast, this was a whip. The Salty Air has this gorgeous lace yoke. And this is by Samantha Guerin, I believe. I need to check my notes. I think it's by Samantha Guerin. Yes. And the yarn I used was Life in the Long Grass, their DK. And so in the color Lake, this was the color Lake. And the makeup of the yarn was, now I have to check it again. It is 85% merino and 50% Donegal tweed. So you can see all the little tweedy bits in there. The tweedy bits are not attached very well. So I'm going to have to be careful if this pills. I've worn it a couple times. So far it has not pilled. But if it pills, I'm going to have to be a little mindful of the tweedy bits if I do have to do some shaving or, management of the fiber. But this yarn is so soft. Yeah, and like I say, I did wear it. I made the sleeves. They're more of a shorter bracelet length than maybe I think I want. I do have, oh gosh, a skein and a half left of yarn. So I may rip it out, may rip the cuff off, and I always do the twisted ribs on all of my cuffs, all my ribbing. I love the look of a twisted rib. But I may rip the cuff off and lengthen the sleeves, probably by a couple inch, by maybe the length of the cuff. And that will just be, an hour and a half project. And a little tip, if you rip the yarn, if you frog a project and then are gonna, if I were to rip the ribbing out and then just pick up and continue knitting on the stockinette where the ribbing was ripped out, you'll notice your yarn is real wavy, kinky, kind of the ramen look. That will change your gauge. So I will not use that. I will start with yarn from the ball that has not been knit with and then carry on. Now, that's not to say you cannot use that yarn if that is your only option. Just be aware that it's been stretched a little bit, so it may alter your gauge a bit, and you'll find if you've made a mistake, like further on down, and you rip back to fix that mistake and then use the yarn to finish, you'll end up with a longer tail than you did originally. So it does stretch the yarn a little bit. So my tip is, if you have to use that yarn, I would reskein it into a hank, not into a ball, but put it back into a hank and get it wet and let it dry. And it should go back to its original shape and then use it. So there's your tip of the day. Yeah, so that's finished object number 2. The last 6 are dishcloths. So if you know, and if you don't know, you should know that starting on the 23rd of April, which was Wednesday of this week, Fiber Hustle is doing their annual dishcloth revolution. Annual. I'm not sure if it's their second or third. For a week, you knit all the dishcloths. And I know that Chip and Aaron will do a Zoom. So if you're interested, it's not too late to hop on. Go over and watch Fiber Hustle on YouTube. All the details are there. Or you can follow Fiber Hustle on Instagram. And yeah, so they'll do a couple Zooms this weekend for anyone that wants to participate. There's no prize. It's just, let's clean up the world for a week. So I have 6 dishcloths here. This is all from the same skein of yarn. If you're counting, that was 3. Here's 4. And I just used Grandma's favorite dishcloth pattern. It's 5. And here is 6. And I do mine without the hole. So when you do the yarn over at the beginning of the row for the increase, it is knit this way. You start with a small cast on, you increase to the number of stitches you want. Then you start decreasing. And you increase by doing yarn overs. So when you get to the end of the row and you've come to the previous row's yarn over, if you just knit it through the back loop, it'll close up that hole. So yeah, and the yarn I used for this was some Deep Stash. This was Yarn Bee, and it was the Sugar Wheel Cotton. The Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel Cotton. Let's see if it's got a colorway. It's 100% cotton. Zest Wishes is the colorway. And so it's all the light spring colors. So I will continue knitting these. Not these, because these are done. I will continue knitting. I've got a whole bunch of Knit Picks Dishy that I'll use. And then I'll just put these in a drawer. I use these to wash dishes with if I have to wash dishes. I know my one granddaughter uses them in the shower. I think I've got some yarn. Actually, I have a cone of 100% cotton in like a cream color. I think what I might do next is actually not use the dishy, but use the cream color and make a bunch of face claws because they do have a nice little texture. So I think they'd be good for the face. So yeah, that is 8 finished objects, but 2 of them are big, so that does count. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to what I am working on. I do have 4 whips. The first one being my car sock. This is the sock I leave in my car. Honestly, I don't know where I was last time. I was probably halfway through the foot. I keep this in the car for what I call stoplight knitting, train track knitting. I do take it in. I'm still having physical therapy once a week, so I always take it into the physical therapy office while I'm in the waiting room, and I'll work on that or any appointments. This is always in my car ready to go. This will be a shorty. This is just done out of a one-of-a-kind trilogy yarns. It does have, let's see if I can show you without, I count my rows. So it does have a little bit of sparkle to it. Maybe this will be the thumbnail. It does have sparkle, so it is a Stellina yarn. So yeah, I don't know when this will be done. It's done when it's done. So that is project number 1. Project number 2 is, this is the Catechu, Catechu, by Audrey Borrego. And I'm going to put her name in the description box. Audrey is a designer that designed for some French magazines, I believe. And I'm not sure what happened or if she's done designing, but she has made all her patterns free on Ravelry. I'm not sure how many she has. She has pages and pages of patterns from garments to socks to hats, t-shirts. Great time of the year to be doing t-shirts. So if you get a chance, hop over to Ravelry and look at Audrey Borrego's patterns. So this is the Catechu, and I am doing this. This is a sample I'm knitting for Heart to Heart Knitting in Pulseball, Washington. And I'm going to have it done by next week because I'm heading over to Pulseball for the P&W crawl. If you want to see me in person, I'll be there. If you want to see this, I'll be there. This is done out of Yarn Citizen, the Harmony fingering in the color Mulberry. This is 50% wool, 50% alpaca. Now this pattern is a bottom up pattern. So you start, let me see if I can do this. It's not been blocked yet, so it's going to be hard to show. So if I can get my shoulder to move that way. So here's the bottom. So you start with this gorgeous lace at the bottom. You start in the round, you do the rows of lace, and then you just, oh God, sorry, shoulder stuck. I'm only 9 weeks out from shoulder replacement, so I'm still trying to baby it. After you do the lace work, then you go on and do stockinette, and then you split for the front and the back. Do your shoulders. This is the front. This is the back. It does say to bind off for the neck stitches. I just put them on the barber cords or the try-on cords so I don't have to pick up for the neckline. So next I'll pick up and do the neckline. I don't know if I'll do that this evening or if I'll do another washcloth. Do the neckline, and then the pattern's got long sleeves. Now Lisa wanted shorter sleeves, so I'll do short sleeves on this, and then I'll do the twisted rib for the sleeves, although I think that the rib on the sleeves does have a little bit of a pattern in it. So I will for sure do the twisted rib. Well, I'm not sure. If the sleeves have a pattern in the rib and I can't do a twisted rib, I don't think I'll do the twisted rib on the neckline because I want it to match. But this will be finished by next week. Sadly, I won't have it here to show on my next podcast, but I'll try to get some good pictures of it. Like I said, I am going over next week for the P&W crawl, and I will leave it there. So I won't bring it home. But this has been a joy to work on. The yarn is luscious. This is the second time I've used Yarn Citizen. Yeah, it's got a great feel to it. This is, like I say, the fingering. This was done on a size 2, so a US 2. So those of you that do fingering white sweaters on US 2, you know that it's taken a while. It'll be done soon. So that is a whip. When that is done, I have taken a whip off my whip cubbies behind me there. And so the next one I'm going to be working on is the Alpine Bloom by Caitlin Hunter. I'm going to tell you a funny story. So at the end of 2024, I did the 12 days of cast on, and cast on a bunch of projects. The majority of them were garments. I'm a big garment knitter. And I think I came into 2025 with 25 works in progress, and they were all on Knit Companion. I am a big Knit Companion user. With the vision problems, I'm able to really magnify the charts or the directions on Knit Companion. So I had 25 works in progress on my Knit Companion. And one morning I got up and I went to open Knit Companion, and all of my projects were gone. So I may have said inappropriate words and with before, where are my projects? So as I've been picking, and I was never able to retrieve them. I tried to download it from the cloud. I tried to download it from my phone back to my iPad. They were gone. All my Ravelry stuff was there, but all of my projects that I had started was gone. So as I'm picking up projects from my whip wall, I'm having to go back and figure out where I am in the pattern and what size I am doing. I have been losing some weight, so I've been dropping down the sizes that I've been making. So I have to count how many stitches are on the needles. I have to, if it's a chart, color work chart, I have to go back and figure out where I'm at. So I never did reach out to Knit Companion to find out why. Just one of those things just happened. So anyway, I am doing the Alpine Bloom, and I am doing this in Trilogy yarns. I'm doing it in the Fingering Weight, the Glamorous base. I have Blush, and I have Platinum Mist. And I'll show you where I'm at. I'm really sorry that I didn't pull in a third color. I think in the pattern it's done with 3 colors. I opted just to do 2. So I'm still in the color work section of this, but this will be the next project that I'm going to work on. And hopefully I'll get it done to where this summer. I do have a couple new things I want to be casting on. I am going to catch some of a cast on party in a week and a half that's being hosted by Tanya from Karma's a Stitch. So if you don't watch Tanya, go over and watch Karma's a Stitch, her podcast. So I'm going to try to catch bits and pieces of the cast on party while I'm working for the P&W crawl. So we'll see what I cast on. Stay tuned. Come back in 2 weeks and you'll see what I've casted on. So this will get some work. I don't know how much it'll get. And then my last work in progress is my counted cross stitch. This is the pattern that I'm doing. This is a coffee sampler, and it is by Design Works. It was a kit that I bought from Amazon. Um, I stand by. I'm going to run and get something. Talk amongst yourselves, and I will be right back. I want to show you something. Sorry, I don't edit my podcast, so I am not going to edit that out. I hope you were able to talk amongst yourself. I used to be a counter cross stitcher all the time, and this is one I did for my daughter when she was, let's make that the thumbnail. When she was expecting my first granddaughter. So yeah, I had actually done one for my sister. My sister was expecting her first child within months of when I was expecting my first granddaughter. I know, it's crazy. My mother was expecting both granddaughter and great granddaughter about the same time. But this is one I had done for my granddaughter. It's done on linen. I don't think you can see, but there's beads all around it. So I had done two different, but the other one was very similar to this. So I used to do a lot of counted cross stitch, and I think I don't know why I put it down. I think I've always been a knitter, but I think my love of knitting kind of took over. But anyway, decided to pick it up. And Carol, I'm shouting you out if you're watching. This one is what I'm doing. And I'm also going to blame Denise and Maddie, and you guys know who you are. I don't know if Denise watches. I don't know if Maddie watches, but if you do, I'm blaming this on you. So I am doing that. I only work on it maybe an hour a day, although honestly, the last 3 or 4 days I haven't worked on it. I've been wanting to get some knitting done. So this is where I'm at. I've only started working on the border. This is on 14 count Aida. Honestly, I think it's on like 98 count Aida. And those of you that are not cross stitchers are not familiar. I think that's how many little squares are per inch. This is so hard to see, you guys. It is so hard to see. So I do make sure the light is really good. I wear the magnifying glasses. And so I'm just about an hour a day is what I can work on that before my eyes start to cross. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. So I have no acquisitions, but that leads me to tomorrow is local yarn store day. So if you see this tonight or in the morning before you head out, support your local yarn stores. I already have a pattern in mind to get yarn for, so I'm excited. My local yarn store is having a trunk show, and they also brought in a new yarn line for this. I'm going to be up there bright and early tomorrow morning. It is my local yarn store is in our little farming community that's up north of town, so it's kind of up in the foothills. And every October they have the big harvest festivals, all the pumpkins. Summertime they do peach festivals. The cherry trees are all in bloom, so those will be going. Years ago when I was a runner, they always did a cherry pit spit run, and I would do that, which was fun because you'd run through the foothills up there, and then they'd have cherry pit spit contests. I never partook in that because I would like to say I don't spit. I have probably been known to spit a few cherry pits, but yeah, so it's going to be up there tomorrow. The weather is supposed to be in the low 70s, maybe some light cloud cover. I know that, like I say, the cherry trees up there are all in bloom. They're gorgeous. She does have she's got in her barn, the yarn barn It's Applewood Yarn Barn, and in her barn she has a glass like garage door. It's a barn that they have converted, and it looks out over the whole valley. And so if the weather is nice, she's got a patio outside. She'll open up the garage door, and you can sit outside if you want. And I know that all the local yarn stores, this is a big one for them. So they're all doing the fun things. A lot of them will have, coffee or cookies, maybe prizes, special yarns they're bringing in. So yeah, go out and support your local yarn store. I know that there's some question as to how our economy is going, but do shop local and support your local people because they work hard. And having been a small business owner, you work hard, and the rewards, the emotional rewards are amazing. Sometimes the financial rewards, I mean, they're nice too, but it's always nice to get more. So do go out tomorrow. What else do I need to tell you? There's nothing new. Life updates. Everything's the same. I'm hoping after I get this uploaded, I do need to go out and spray some weeds. The weeds, I don't know who came in the wintertime and threw grass seed in all my beds. I live in a fairly nice area, but the people that are right behind me don't believe in yard work. And I do have a 6-foot privacy, one of those vinyl privacy fences around my yard. And the weeds get so tall, they come up over the fence. So there's a lot of dandelions now and weeds in my bed. So I need to go out and do a little yard management, what I can do. Sadly, I can't pull any because I'm only up to lifting, 5 pounds on my shoulder still. Only 9 weeks out from replacement, so I'm not able to pull the weeds. I'm certainly not going to do any damage and have to go through this again. I've had both shoulders replaced. I never want to do that again. So I'm gonna do a little treatment of the weeds and stuff and do that. And otherwise, I think that's it. Thank you. I have had several new subscribers in the last 2 weeks. Thank you so much for subscribing to help my little channel grow. Be sure and like, comment. I love reading the comments. If you don't watch this till after you go to local yarn store day tomorrow, tell me what you got or tell me what you're working on. I'm always looking for new patterns, new ideas. So let me know what you're working on. And comment, like, subscribe. Reach out if you have any questions. And I will see you all in a couple weeks with another finished object, but I'll just have pictures to show. So anyway, take care and thanks for watching. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Okay, bye-bye.